Nei wasiringa na neva katara vakavini benata. Bola. Oya wasala bilawa. Do pata ki au mai na diwa kina tini karona kaloko na single boni moniti kina vagaromboka. Kako ni valata na no musini sari na kai samariando loloma leone vani ni nau. Omgori ke de mai na diwa kina tini karona kaloko na single boni moniti kina vagaromboka na Bula FM number 2 en sere.
Bula, I'm DJ Toro. Join me every Monday to Thursday, 7 until midnight. The premium classics on Gold FM, only the classic hits.
On FBC News tonight, street begging a crime. Climate change takes its toll. And delegation here to find Fiji's secret to tourism success. Good evening, welcome to FBC News. I'm Amrita Priyadarshini. Street begging has become a common sight around the country. It's been found that some beggars are genuinely in need of assistance, while some beg under false pretenses. This has seen the formation of a task force between the police and the Social Welfare Ministry to curb street begging. And while authorities are doing their bit, one legal consultant has highlighted the need for people to be aware of what the law says about begging. Sharin Lata reports.
In Section 3 of the Minor Offences Act, begging in public places is illegal.
A person that's more than 14 years old who's actually begging on the street and is asking people for money or pestering people for money, that person, if charged and found guilty, will be convicted to a maximum penalty of 3 months.
Even charitable contributions of any nature under any false pretense is also an offence. According to the Social Welfare Ministry, they have profiled some beggars and found that they are mobile and continue to change their location. Some of them are generational beggars, while most of them are already receiving assistance through the Social Welfare Ministry.
There's 2 ladies a couple of months ago where we took them. We said, okay, we will put you in the bus, but they are originally from Nandi, so you go back to where you come from. So they said, no, please allow us to go and change. So when they come in, they change to old clothes, to make them look. So we allowed them to go change. They went to change, came back with good clothes, but the bus go back.
The ministry says the real intention behind begging needs to be determined and addressed properly to curb street begging in Fiji. Sharin Lata, FBC News.
Charges are expected to be laid soon against 4 of the 10 Yasawa villagers accused of assaulting a resort owner and his partner on the island. 10 of the 16 suspects from Soso village were brought to Lautoka for questioning. They are alleged to have attacked Paradise Cove Resort Managing Director Nick Wood and Project Manager Joe Quinn. The group allegedly confronted resort management on Monday morning after being terminated from their jobs for lack of performance. Matanitikina for Naviti Island, Mulase Bainivalu says the elders of the village have asked people to calm down. Bainivalu says the owners of the resort have apologized to the Tui Naviti and have indicated they will re-employ the 16 men from Soso. Climate change has its own way of reminding us that it's real and is affecting everyone. Today, Mika Longa takes us to Lodala Beach Estate outside Suva, where residents along the foreshore have become witness to this daunting reality. Here's the story.
No one would have believed that development in this foreshore would have ended up like this, eaten away by the sea.
The foreshore has been basically washed out, and the project is basically in line to reclaim whatever portion of the foreshore has been washed out. At the same time, build up a gabion wall that it would be present as well. So basically, we will put up a seawall as well.
An assessment of the foreshore conducted by the University of the South Pacific Environment Division found disturbing results.
We found that indeed there is a lot of coastal erosion, and some of it is due to the loss of mangroves in this area over the last 10 years due to the development that took place. and also due to climate change, because with global warming, sea level is rising.
One resident whose land was being eaten away by the sea is afraid she will lose more if nothing is done quickly.
The land is up to here, that mark from there. And the sea level too, we can see it has risen. Yes, it is.
So when
we can see a lot of difference. High tide,
when it's high tide, where
it comes right up here.
Where we are?
Where we are. And this is the evidence, this is what's happening now, it's coming this way.
Yeah.
See, some of the places you can see the sea has already eaten, starting to chew the bottom bit. Our land has become soggy. We can't plant the vegetations currently because maybe the soil, I mean the
seawater.
Seawater, yeah, the salt and all seeping in.
The Nasiru Town Council, with funding from international agency, will reclaim the portions of land lost, and as promised, those owning land here will get back what they have lost.
This is proof that climate change is really happening, and also proof that any improper planning of development results in loss of land. And the onus is on everyone to make sure that things like this doesn't happen or repeated in the future. Mikalonga, FBC News.
The investigation into the alleged abuse of office by 8 employees of the Water Authority of Fiji has ended with 4 people no longer employed by the utility. Water Authority CEO Opatea Ravai says 2 resigned, while the other 2 didn't have their contracts renewed.
We have our own internal tribunal process. We've used that process and we've reinstated 4 of our staff who have come back to Water Authority, and 4 are no longer employed with us.
Ravai has made it clear that as a professional organization, the Water Authority seriously investigates complaints against its staff. As the hub of the South Pacific, Fiji often sets the example for the rest of the region. As Chanel Shivan reports, a group from New Caledonia is here to study Fiji's flourishing tourism industry.
These 30 delegates are here to try and discover the secret behind Fiji's successful tourism market. Deputy Head of Mission of the French Embassy, Jules Herman, says they aim to use their findings here to improve the tourism in New Caledonia.
You know, Fiji has about 850,000 population, no, the people, Fijians, and welcome every year 700,000 tourists. It's very important for our country to welcome as tourists as much as it has population. So I think, yes, Fiji is quite successful in terms of tourism.
The group is made up of individuals from the economic, traditional and social-cultural sectors in New Caledonia.
What I can see when I go to a resort is that the people of the resort are usually people locally grown because their village is close by. And so I think we have also a good view of the Fijian tradition, even if we go to a very international resort. And I think it is also the charm of Fiji.
It may be the charm that's keeping the tourism industry thriving. The French have also observed that due to the modernization in Fiji, its culture and tradition is still equipped. But the tourism industry is not the only area the French are observing.
We are looking very closely at the situation now in Fiji. We are also happy to have economic relations with Fiji, and we are looking very closely to what is happening right now and to what will happen in 2014.
The group will tour most of Fiji's hotels and factories before departing on Saturday. Chanel Shivan, FBC News.
People residing in and around Lambasa town have welcomed the road maintenance work that got underway last night. Upgrading is being carried out at the Lambasa town centre area by the Fiji Roads Authority's maintenance contractor, Blacktop Construction Limited. The roadwork is underway daily from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m.
Yeah, of course, I think the people are quite happy with it. There's a lot of activity in the town itself. I know there is some traffic jams, but we have to put up with these kind of things. And the contractor is doing his best at the moment.
Upgrading is expected to finish by mid next month. In the news ahead, public challenged on World Biodiversity Day.
आपकी शादी होने वाली है, 5 बच्चे होंगे। 5 हाय, मैं हूँ आपकी सहेली वेणु। सुनते रहिए मिर्च एफएम। मैं हूँ ना 9 से 12 बजे तक।
I wake up in the morning, I prefer to go down to the gym, get a bit of physical work done. Also, later on in the day, I decide to go through for meditation. I do a bit of reading to find out what the latest songs are, a bit of research. And for me, it's all about the listeners.
Hey, what's up? I'm Rio, and this is the Traffic Jam every weekday from 3 o'clock to 7, only on Today FM. Today is hit music. What's up?
Welcome back. You're with FBC News. Sugarcane field officers are attending a 2-week workshop in an overall bid to revive the multi-million-dollar sugar industry. The goal is to upskill extension officers to play a key role in the implementation of the sugar industry's strategic action plan. And as Christopher Chand reports, the hope is to put sugar back on track.
These field officers are right at the heart of the industry, forming a link with farmers. By educating them, our growers will be able to produce more sugar.
You think it's reviving the sugar industry? It's the start of the process, a very important process, but we have to remember that it's a long-term process. There's no such thing as a quick fix.
This is one of the many hands-on training workshops for field officers and farmers in the cane belt areas. It's being done to help farmers use the best planting practice to maximize yield.
Just to show them and give them the confidence that yes, I've done it myself with my own hands. So when they talk to farmer, the farmer probably will see some of the younger fellows say, what do you know? We've done this. We've done it with our hands. We've done the practical with the theory. That's the whole idea.
The training is being jointly organized by the Fiji Sugar Corporation and the Fair Trade Coordination Unit and is being funded by the European Union through the Secretariat of the Pacific Community.
Hopefully these other things will come in as well as technical improvements, and that they will be able to go out and work with farmers in the principle that I said, the cascade effect, and to help the farmers to produce more sugarcane.
This is a major step towards building a strong and vibrant sector, with the hope that these officers will reach close to 15,000 farmers in the Western Division. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
The National Fire Authority is finding it difficult to get people to be serious about fire safety. They have been visiting schools and homes and just recently started visiting churches. But it seems their efforts are not producing the results they wanted. As Ritika Pratap tells us, 80% fires are caused by negligence.
46 house fires have been recorded in just the first 5 months of this year, and most of this could have been avoided. And it goes without saying, every household is at risk.
A fire occurs to another family, they all feel sorry for that family. But everybody often assumes that the fire will not happen to them.
It's been said before, but John O'Connor can never stress enough the importance of practicing fire safety.
It's only when something happens, then they start to regret. So we are urging members of the community that rather than regretting, better be proactive and start taking fire safety seriously.
The NFA works closely with police to investigate fires, and appropriate actions are taken if necessary.
And if they determine there's been carelessness or negligence, then they usually lay charges. And we are happy that in a few cases, police have started to lay charges against those who are suspected to have caused the fire.
Of the 46 fires, 12 were intentionally set. In all, fires in the first 5 months of this year alone has already cost the country $11 million. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
Airports Fiji Limited says there are no requirements for scanners at any of the domestic airports in the country. Questions were sent to the AFL regarding security procedures at Fiji's domestic airports. In response, AFL said there are no requirements from the Civil Aviation Authority of Fiji for scanners. It goes on to say that there's really no need to have any screening done at domestic airports. For the first time, a Careers Expo has been held on Rotuma Island. It was a busy day for students who were eager to explore the different opportunities available. Apisala Medaka has more.
Choosing a career path is often a daunting task for many, and it's no different for these students of Rotuma High School. This was the first time an exposition such as this was held here.
One of the main focuses of the ministry's policies now is to try and take education out to the children, out to the rural areas. And that is in line with the government and the ministry's policy of providing access to quality education for our children.
So we are very privileged, and the children get first-hand information from the different stakeholders concerning their future.
Majority of the students leave the island to further their studies.
I am definitely sure that students of Rutuma High School will be very much well prepared and enlightened in their choices of their career.
Expos such as these are common in urban areas. FBC News asked the Education Ministry on why it has just recently started in the outer islands.
As I said before, it was basically focused on the urban areas and the rural children, they find their way in. But now the new government initiatives, the directive is to take it out to the rural areas, to where it is most needed.
Rotuma High School has also started their Form 7 classes this year, with the Permanent Secretary for Education, Dr. Bridge Lal, to officially open the new Form 7 block soon. Apisalome Doka, FBC News.
The public has been challenged by the Environment Ministry to step up and play their part in safeguarding our surroundings. Today is National Biodiversity Day, and to mark the occasion, the ministry organized an event at Dholoi Suva. Asinate Korovulavula reports.
Protecting the environment is not just the job of the government or NGOs, it's everyone's responsibility. But the question is, are we doing our part?
The launch was a fruitful one because we managed to reflect back on what we have achieved so far, and we set a direction forward on what we must do to mend up the gaps and keep on piling up our efforts on environment awareness.
Birds are also part of our livelihood and play a critical role in maintaining biodiversity. As part of today's celebration, Nature Fiji or Maringetiviti handed over a State of Birds report to Environment Minister Colonel Samuela Saumatua.
Biodiversity conservation in Fiji requires the support of landowners and the general public who can better understand, participate in and support conservation if they are familiar with and have knowledge about the species of concern.
This year, the Department of Environment is mandated to develop and administer policies and strategies which will create an enabling environment for the protection of our natural resources. Asinate Korobulabula, FBC News.
And Jamie is here to tell us the Fiji Sports Commission is splashing some cash around.
That's right, and if you have a bucket big enough, Amrita, you might be able to get some as well.
Don't get my hopes up, Jamie.
Anyway, we'll find out who's really getting that cash after the break. But also tonight, it's camping season for our ruggers. That and more when we get back.
Bula, I'm Wame. Join me every weekday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on The Center Show with classic hits from the 70s as well as the 80s right here on Gold FM.
जहाँ हो प्यार का बसेरा और रिश्तों की खुशबू, वो है आपका अपना घर संसार. Join me on Ghar Sansar, Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. till 12 p.m. only on Radio Fiji 2.
Welcome back. You're with FBC Sports. First up tonight, Japan-based winger Nemani Nandolo makes a return to the Flying Fijians after 3 years and is glad to be back for this year's Pacific Nations Cup. He joins fellow squad members for a 3-day camp at Uprising Resort before competition kicks off. And he hopes his overseas experience will serve him well in the white jersey. Elena McDonald caught up with him today.
6'5" speedster Nemani Nandolo, Campisi Maafu and young gun Sam Matavesi will make sure their first camp with the Flying Fijian squad counts this week.
Mingling with the boys and bonding and make sure we get we gel together going into the first game next week against Japan. So which would be that's one thing I'm looking forward to.
His last outing for Fiji was in 2010, but hopes his knowledge gained from playing for Japan's NEC Green Rockets will bolster his performance for the Flying Fijians, starting with taking on the Cherry Blossoms next Saturday.
Yeah, definitely. They've got a lot of good guys. They'll field a strong side this year, and we can't take them lightly. They're obviously the new Asian nation, five nation champions. So, look, we've got a really good squad, and and hopefully I can bring add a bit to it, and with a bit of input and experience that I've learned from Japan.
Males selected quite a mix of local and overseas-based reps. But over the next few days, it'll be about him finding the right combination to make it all work for a successful PNC outing and, of course, the much-awaited Classic All Blacks match next month. Elena McDonald, FBC Sports.
Also marching into camp today was the Digicel Fiji 7 squad. Watisoni Votu was the first overseas-based rep to show up at Rugby House for the start of Fiji's preparations to the World Cup. And all the players know they'll have to work extra hard to make the final selection for Russia. And going back to that cash we mentioned earlier, Netball Fiji got a huge boost today after the Fiji Sports Commission injected some much needed money. With several international tournaments coming up, Netball Fiji will be sure to make good use of the weighty grant. Salindau Takadaka reports.
It was pen to paper yet again for the Fiji Sports Commission, which today handed out its largest grant to any national federation to date. Netball Fiji, being the recipients, were given a whopping $80,000, which the Commission believes is justified.
This money will go towards our participation at the Pacific Netball Series. We are taking 2 teams with us. That's the national team that's there to defend their title as the Queens of the Pacific Netball Series. And we also have our under-21 squad who will be there to play against the Samoan under-21 squad. So we've got quite a big delegation going, and we are hoping for the best. Our ultimate objective in going to Samoa is to win the Pacific Netball Series, and for our under-21 to expose them to a competition phase against the Samoan under-21.
More funds await Netball Fiji, which hopefully again will be put to good use.
Our grants this year, our government has given us approximately $1.5 million, and that's really for netball, which gets approximately $210,000. That's for going to the world champs, the youth champs in England, and also for the Pacific Series in Samoa. So today we contributed towards their preparation and working towards the major tournament in the UK.
With today's grant, our national netters now have the weight of the country on them to perform above expectations. It's funds many other minor sports would dream of, and hopefully it'll be money well spent. Chalendo the Kavaka, FBC Sports.
Business house paddling has become one of the most popular corporate sporting events in recent time. And with it starting again next month, organizers have high hopes this year will see the most teams yet. It's forecasted that around 40 teams will battle it out on the water.
So basically it boils down to first come, first served basis, and that's not 40 business houses, that's actually 40 teams, because some of the business houses have more than one team, like Pacific Energy and FNPF.
And toppling the current champions, Fiji Gas, won't be the only aim for these paddlers when competition begins.
Take it further than just business house and actually participate in the Fiji Outrigger regular regattas, as well as overseas participation, which we have had, where business house paddlers have ended up representing Fiji in the Pacific Games and mini Pacific Games.
The first regatta will be in Suva on Saturday, June 1st. Definitely a sight to see when the teams take to the water. Well, that wraps up sports for tonight. It's back to Amrita now for business.
PGK Insurance has launched a state-of-the-art patient management system to be used by medical centres. The new software will identify patients using their FNPF numbers, and all treatment and medical findings will be recorded electronically. The software will allow doctors to access patient files through their computers. Clients of Fiji Care will have their insurance matters settled electronically as well.
The main class of business continues to be health insurance, so we are particularly privileged to have stumbled across, through no particular great effort of ours, the ideal software that in particular encapsulates all the needs of medical insurance and which gives us a straight flow of all data.
The new system was launched by Indian High Commissioner to Fiji, Vinod Kumar, in Suva. So what did you make of today's weather, Jen?
Hi, I'm Rita. I was quite happy with it, actually. It was fine all throughout the country except for two major centers that experienced clouds and showers. Had a bit of a shock last night, though. I think that heavy downpour we experienced here in Suva caught a lot of people off guard. Nothing unpredictable about today's temperatures. As usual, things were on an even keel, with the lowest temperature at 30 and the highest at 32. Brief showers and fine weather is what we can expect tomorrow. To be more specific, brief showers for Suva and Savu-Savu and fine weather everywhere else. Now, tonight's picture was taken by one of my colleagues, Api Salome. We decided to feature the beautiful island of Rotuma this evening, considering that we've never had a picture from there. Looking towards Itumuta, Api took this from the Ahau government station. We'd love to see a photo that knocks our socks off, so keep it original and in high resolution. Until tomorrow, stay safe and stay smiling.
Thanks, Genevieve. The headlines again. Legal consultant explains street begging to be a crime. Charges expected soon on villagers accused of attacking a resort owner. A New Caledonian delegation here to find Fiji's secret to tourism success. To the weekly poll question now. Is it worth the Flying Fijians playing the classic All Blacks instead of the main team for centenary celebrations? To take part, visit www.fbc.com.fj. Remember to send us newsworthy pictures and videos. Email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj. Until next time, good night.
Nimbula, methangu nimilote na isaro tambua. Nama kia uminarua kina ona na via kavi moniti kina wakarambuka. Rongo mena via sana kina via baka baro takini ndreko malolo. Ena Radio Fiji wana na buongani via niano. Ngai nama kia kina.
Nisambulo binaka, oya wane kamanalangi, oni nandorungo viao, maina diwa kina rua na visinga, maina moniti kina wakarumbuka, na Radio Fiji wana ndoma ibiti buongani via niano. Nama katalangana bengo na sasi viani na tina kaloka na bembongi ni bukilulu. Kena vima manyualu na bembongi ni bakarawai maina mbuza ni balu ninge namaka.